Last week, I finished reading this book, Eat Well, The Easy Way to Look and Feel Fabulous by Nell Nelson. And I found it quite special. I think there are a few lessons here, 3 lessons for writers and for aspiring authors, because this book can teach us quite a few things about authorship. Now, the first one is this. This is a book about nutrition, but how many books about nutrition have been written? Like if you go to the bookshop and you go to that section, health or nutrition, you will find dozens of books written by nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, experts in the field. Nell Nelson is an expert in the field because she is a nutritionist from the UK. But in the book, she didn't just include information about nutrition. Like vitamin C you will find vitamin C in these foods. If you want to lower your sugar levels in your blood, you should eat these foods. So this is information that we can find easily in 3 clicks online. On ChatGPT can tell us these things. Like, these are facts. And I think that if ChatGPT can write that book, if ChatGPT can write your book, I think you shouldn't write that book. But what did she include? She included personal stories. So this is not just a book about nutritional facts and recipes. She included recipes, stories about recipes she found while traveling. She included relevant anecdotes. She included stories about dishes that she ate while she was abroad, or things that her family or her friends cooked for her. And so she adds her own personality, her own experience to the book, to the facts. So the central topic of the book is nutrition. And as I said, we can find thousands of those books, even more popular than this. But what makes it unique is her own stories. And this is why, and I know that I've said this 20,000 times, this is why if you're writing a book about a topic that many people before you have written about, well, don't feel discouraged, because you can make it unique by adding your own experiences and your own ideas and stories that to decorate the central element, the central the topic, the subject matter. The subject matter doesn't change. What changes is how you decorate it. I like this, actually. The subject matter doesn't change. What changes is how you decorate it. I like it. Second reason. The second reason is, okay, there's a little bit of a story behind this book. It was given to me. I didn't buy it intentionally. It was given to me as a present by my ex-girlfriend, my girlfriend at the time when I was in London. I was living in London in 2012. My English wasn't as good as it is now, and I wanted to improve. And I wanted to read in English. And my girlfriend, at the time, my ex-girlfriend, knew that I was interested in nutrition. I've always been interested in nutrition, because I think that nutrition, like, we've been eating since the day we were born, and we're going to eat, we'll be eating for the rest of our lives, right? So I think it's an important topic that you should get an education on. By the way, anyway, so I bought she bought this book for me, but at the time I had just gone vegetarian. And when I opened this book, I found, you can see it on the cover, there's fish, there's no meat though, but I opened the book and I found recipes, meat recipes. And I thought, nah, this is not a book for me, because I'm vegetarian. I don't want to read a book that says eat well on the cover. and then there are meat recipes in it. And so I didn't read it. I read it 2 weeks ago. I started reading it and I finished it last week. I was in that phase where, when you finish reading a book, but you don't have a book to read because the one that you ordered hasn't arrived yet. And so I was in that bookless phase. And I looked at my bookshelf. I've got one here and one there, if you're watching on YouTube. And I found this, Eat Well. And I thought, okay, well, it's better to read a book that I have than wait for the one that I don't have. And so I read it. Now, I enjoyed it a lot, and I learned a lot about nutrition from this book, as you can see. But I then discovered that this book has only got 2 reviews on Amazon, and it's only got 4 ratings on Goodreads, one of which is mine, because I rated it 4 stars. And I thought, wow, so this is not a bestseller. Nell Nelson didn't write a bestseller. It's not one of those, I've seen it online, books about nutrition written by Jamie Oliver, for example, with 3,000 reviews, 3,000 ratings, and, well-reviewed, well-read. But this is not one of those books. And I thought, how many other books are there? How many other great books like this one are there that have only got 2 ratings? Because I realized, well, it's not that I realized, I thought there's no correlation between, at least in this case, there's no correlation between the quality of the book and the number of ratings or the number of reviews. There's no correlation, because maybe this is not a self-published book, but maybe the publisher didn't do a good job marketing the book. So they have a great product, probably. I'm just guessing. They've got a great product here, but they failed to market it efficiently. And so not many people have read it. This is just maybe I'm wrong, but it's just an hypothesis. So how many other publishers are there that are not doing a great job marketing the books? How many other authors have written a fantastic book, but they fail to advertise it, to get it out there? It's also true, though, that a book, I think, well, I'm quite sure that if a book is great, then people will start talking about it. So I found it great, and that's why I'm talking about it. And so if I find another book, if I'm interested in a book that has only got 1 rating and 2 reviews, but I feel that book can be interesting, I will buy it. And I think you should do it too. So we can support, authors that are not on the New York Times best-selling list, for example. We can support self-published authors and small authors that have written a book. Now, and this is number 2. This is the second thing that made me reflect a little bit. The third reason is this. It's divided into chapters. This book is divided into chapters. It's a 350-page book, so it's quite thick, yeah? And it's divided into 10 chapters. I can read the chapters, the titles. Losing weight, exercise, boosting your immune system, coping with stress, and so on. Each of these chapters, I thought, could be its own book, its own tiny book. So if you're a new author, if you're an aspiring author, and you want to write a book about nutrition, or a book about drawing, how to draw, or a book about self-discovery, whatever. A non-fiction book, it should be. A great way to approach this, and if you've been following this channel, you know this, you know what I'm about to say, is to write one chapter, 30, 50, 60, less than 100 pages. Yeah, there's no fixed number, but a tiny book where you talk about that thing, that specific thing. For example, in this case, chapter 1 is losing weight. You focus only on that thing. You include all your stories about losing weight. So it's got a clear focus already. And then you package it as a book. You publish it. And then you move on to the next one. So it's a way to start small. You don't have to write a 350-page book about nutrition. You have to write one chapter. One chapter, probably the one that excites you the most. Yeah, and then you've got. I think it's a nice project to work on. Something like this. It's a nice project because you have to direct your attention only on one thing, and then you move on to the next ones. What do you think? That's it. This is basically the 3 reasons. One more reason to read this book is that, as I said before, we are always eating. I mean, I love eating, and you can also. I think it's. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to learn about nutrition, about what's in the food that you eat, the food that is good for you, the food that is good if you do sports, the food to help your immune system. I don't get why a lot of people that I know, they don't know these things. Not because they're stupid, because they've never read about nutrition. But I think, if you eat, well, learn about that. That's it. So if you're writing a book, there's my tiny book writing group. I'll leave the link below. I help you bring out your book, focus on relevant ideas that you should include. I help you write it, basically, and get in touch if you need help. Thank you very much. As always, thank you for watching this or listening to this ramble. Did I press record? I did. Oh, thank you. Thank God. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're a writer and you want to improve your writing, or you want to keep improving your writing, consider joining my private email list, Better Writers. I send one short email every week. I share tips, insights, things that I learn, book recommendations to help you do one thing only: become a better writer. The link is in the show notes or in the description of this video. Thank you for listening once again. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.